Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, it's afternoon because this morning I had a wonderful blessing. I was able to go over and watch baby Benjamin for the morning, and that was wonderful. So I was able to spend time with him from 8 in the morning until 12:30, and yeah, we went on a walk, and yeah, we just had a lot of just good together time. Gammy and grandson. Anyways, what I'm going to do today is going to be really boring for you folks, and actually for me also, because I'm reorganizing my pantry, and I'm going to show you in a minute what it is that I purchased a couple things hoping to be able to organize my pantry better. But I thought maybe I would show you the ultimate colors that we picked out. Yes, it's only been, 2 weeks? I have been totally indecisive, but these are the colors that I picked out. So we have these two for the living room and dining room, and then this is going to be for the kitchen. And that is actually the very first color that I picked out for the kitchen. And it's a plum is what it is. So anyways, that's what we've decided on. And the way I feel at this point is if I absolutely hate the plum, then Rick and I can just redo it because there's not a lot. I mean, it probably, you're talking less than 1 gallon of paint to do where that color's going to be. So anyways, let me show you what I bought to help organize my pantry. Okay, this is the first thing I bought. I bought 2 of these. So you put the cans in here, and then they'll, like soup cans or any type of food can that would be about the size of a soup can. And so I'm hoping I can organize it that way. And then what I ended up purchasing is these little lifters. These are 6 inches high. And so for the height of each shelf in my pantry, the 6 inches is perfect because they're like 14 inches high. So that leaves 6 and 6. And this came as a set of 6. So I got 6 of these. So I'm hoping I will have more space and not have to like just stack cans upon cans because they tend to fall over, and then it just makes a big mess in there. And I lose track of what it is I have in there and what's available. And then I end up buying, what I already have again, and I have too many of them anyway. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. But in the meantime, I thought that you might enjoy seeing the beautiful colors that the trees are turning where I live here in northwestern Pennsylvania. Well, here I am. I'm finally finished, and I am extremely warm because I think I picked the warmest day so far this month to decide to do the work. So anyways, yeah, let me show you. So on the top pantry here, I have my chicken broth, my beef broth, mayonnaise, applesauce, peanut butter, and they go all the way back. So I believe I have 8 peanut butters, 4 mayonnaise, that sort of thing, so you can kind of guess how many. And then at the second shelf here, those are just crackers. There's a variety of crackers behind that. And I noticed that over here I have condensed milk and I have some coconut milk, but I need to get some canned milk because I use it for baking, but it's also good for being able to have, your home food storage to include that, I guess is what I mean. Then underneath that is some jellies. Now, I don't have a lot because I'm planning on making mine if I can ever get to that. I have all the fruit in the freezer. And then on this section of the pantry, I have on the top corner here, that is tuna fish and canned chicken and crab and salmon, and I think a few cans of little mini shrimp. And on the other side is ketchup and mustard and just some chips that I had left over. And laying down there behind that frosting is 2 large olive oils. And then behind, in between, I have my avocado oil. So I kind of need to find a better place for my oils because I really do kind of go through a lot of them and I want to have more than just 2 of each. So yeah, I got to kind of think that one through. But then down below here, I have my canned soups. And mainly what they are is just a couple of my husband's favorite, and then cream of mushroom, cream of celery, cream of chicken, because, that's kind of what, but that's kind of what I use for when I bake and things like that. And then on this side is all the different kinds of pastas, spaghetti, lettuce, listen to me, noodles, that sort of thing. Now at the bottom down here what I have is basically, is in this area is just like pickles, olives, relishes, things like that. On the opposite side, I have like baked beans, sweet potatoes, and I have a couple apple pie fillings, sweet potato pie filling, and behind there, I believe I have some pumpkin. And then on my canning shelf here, those are just canned beans. So there's some navy beans, some red beans, some kidney beans, and some black beans. But then on the other side, over here, I don't know if you can see it real well, is that there is just a brown plastic container, and in that is bags of rice. And then underneath that is another container full of all different kinds of dried beans. Plus there's more in front. There's split peas and lentils, barley, and all that kind of stuff. So now what I have is a better idea of what it is I need, because I was able to clean everything out, sort everything through, and hopefully now I can make a list and I can start to add to the things that I need more of. Now I do want you to keep in mind that that is not all of my food storage. That is the food storage that I use continuously. I also have my Thrive Life foods that are freeze-dried in cans that last up to 25 years. So I have a supply of those. I do need a few more things of that to really complete the whole thing. And so I'll be doing that here soon. And then I have my own canned goods. I have my own soups, my potatoes, my canned chicken and tomato sauce and all those other things. So there's also that, and I'll be adding to that also. So yeah, that was a big job actually, because it was hard to sort through and just kind of know how to configure everything, to know what is best for me to be able to visually see what it is I have at a quick glance. That was my goal. So anyways, yeah, still have a little bit to go, because my goal is for 3 months, and I'm going to need to start saving some jugs of water. Now, one thing that I did get for my food storage is I bought those purification tablets to be able to put into water. so that if you like went to a stream, you could put that into the gallon and you would be able to have drinking water. So I did get that. Yeah, and I forgot. I also have dried foods. I have jars with my oxygen absorbers of dried sliced tomatoes, onions, peppers, carrots. So I have all that kind of stuff plus all my herbs. So hopefully I'm getting back on track, because that was my goal. I had a goal and I just kind of let it go a couple years ago, and I thought, no, I think there's too many things pointing in the direction that we need to be a little bit prepared for shortages, and if that were to happen. So yeah, I hope that this has helped someone, because I really don't think that it's all that difficult. It's probably, for me, the hardest thing is space, because I didn't want to put it in the basement. I wanted it at my level here, where I'm constantly thinking about it and recycling it through it, so that I'm replenishing it with fresh. And I know me, I know that if I put it down in the basement, it would get forgotten and neglected. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you in just a little bit. For our Bible verse today, we are reading from Romans chapter 13, verse 1. There is no authority except from me, and those that exist have been instituted by me. Today we're going to talk about the sovereignty of God. There are no limits to God's rule. This is part of what it means to be God. He is sovereign over the whole world and everything that happens in it. He is never helpless, never frustrated, never at a loss, and in Christ, God's sovereign providence is the place where we are able to feel most reverent and the most secure and the most free. God is sovereign over the universe. Whenever God acts, he acts in a way that pleases him. God is never constrained to do a thing that he despises. He does whatever pleases him. Sometimes we need to be reminded that there are no limits to God's rule, for he is sovereign over the whole world and the whole universe and everything that happens in it. We need to remember that he is never helpless, he is never frustrated, nor is he ever at a loss. And he definitely does not need our help to achieve his purposes. So we can be assured that he reigns over all the nations of the earth, over every nation, every people, every language, every president, and every politician, great or small. God is also sovereign over salvation. Jesus died not only to offer salvation to the world, but also to bring his people to himself, to overcome their rebellion and to gather them to himself. God is the God of salvation. We cannot save anyone. Only God can save. We are his ambassador, which means we are to behave and to act in a way that represents his son, Jesus Christ, in everything that we say and do. We are to plant the seeds and the Lord gives the crop. God is also sovereign over our suffering. We don't always think about this, but the ultimate reason that suffering exists in the universe is so that Christ might display the greatness of the glory of the grace of God by suffering in himself to overcome our suffering. This is a deep thought, and I don't really have time to expand on this whole thing today, but I want you to think about it. If there was no suffering in the world, Christ could not have come and suffered to save us from our sin. Isaiah 46, 9 and 10 say, I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times things not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will accomplish all my purpose. The risen and reigning King of Kings and Lord of Lords rules over this world and over his mission with absolute sovereignty. Nothing is outside his sovereign will. If he meets with resistance, he either allows it for his purposes or he overcomes it for his purposes. We can be absolutely certain that Jesus Christ has absolute authority and sovereignty over this entire world. Life happens, and the Word of God tells us that he is not a God of confusion, but of order. That he is altogether good, altogether holy, and altogether sovereign. Our God is of divine sovereignty, and we must always balance this with a clear understanding that God always exercises his power and authority according to his holy character. God bless. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you all again on Friday.